Hi everybody, I'm Miriam and this is Taffiny Elrod. She is a chef and she's here to show us some of the recipes she's developed, and the one that we're working on right now is Ring Around the Root Beer Float.
Hi Miriam. And we are going to make a root beer float. The recipe, a root beer float gelatin ring, but we're not going to make it in a ring mold. I wanted to show that there's many ways to make it. It can be convenient. You can do it by single serving so that you can serve multiple people, or portion control yourself. And it'll just be available to reach into the refrigerator and take one out if you need it. So we're going to set it up that way today. We are going to use Keto Chow root beer float flavor and some heavy cream. We're going to use carbonated water so that it gives it a little life. My idea was that it would be like a root beer float, but in gelatin form. And it's super simple to put together. We are just using plain, unflavored gelatin powder. This is granulated. You could also use just, the little knocks or whatever, little packets of gelatin. And I am going to soften this gelatin up on half a cup of cold water, just to allow it to bloom so that we can mix it into our mixture. It won't be in chunks.
So do you need to stir that up?
Actually, I'm just going to let it rest for a minute, and then I will stir it once it has had a chance to have contact with the water. But you can see it's already absorbing water.
So what does it mean to bloom?
So it means to bloom is that we're going to let this absorb water and soften basically the proteins in the gelatin. If I were to just dump this into hot water, it would just coagulate into chunks, and it wouldn't dissolve, and then it wouldn't create a gelatin. It wouldn't firm. You would just have little globules. So see, now you can see and this is going nice and fast. So I'm softening it there. I'm just going to let it rest for maybe about a minute. And while I do that, I'm going to heat our water. So you could do this on the top of the stove. You could just heat the water on the stove and then do it in the pan. I am just going to heat the water in the kettle and mix it in a bowl. And the water was already hot. That shouldn't take too long.
The bowl in front of you?
Yes, please. So see how it's already become gelatinous?
Nice.
So we know that it's softened up, it's absorbing the water, and we'll be able to work with it. So I've just got in the bowl, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit there. And then I'm going to add the hot water to this. So I have allowed my gelatin to bloom in a half cup of cold water, and then heated it up on the stove and stirring until it has dissolved and is quite hot but not quite boiling, right around 200 degrees, just below boiling. And I'm just going to let that mixture cool down for just a moment. I will mix together the Keto Chow, the heavy cream, and the sweetener, and then I'm going to mix all that together and add our sparkling water, which should give it a little life so that it's sort of like a root beer float. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so let's do our cream. 1 cup of heavy cream.
So Keto Chow everywhere. That never happens.
And our sweetener. Sweetener you can mix into this just about anywhere. Just give it a chance to dissolve with the warm liquid. And our Keto Chow. So 2 scoops of root beer float Keto Chow.
I know, it smells so good.
Enjoy the perfume.
Root beer float.
It's like a summer day. We used to go for root beer
Outside
floats
on the beach.
once a year in the summer. It was like our ultimate treat. Once a year we were allowed to have a root beer float at the outdoor A&W.
Nice. In a cute mug?
In a frosted mug, yeah.
Ooh.
The real deal, the old school, on tap, the whole thing. So
nice.
Olden times. And I'm just going to mix this gelatin in with that mixture, the cream and sweetener. It's still warm, so it should dissolve everything if all goes well. Mix in the Keto Chow with the cream helps it to distribute. And it smells good too. If there are a couple lumps that don't dissolve, it's not the end of the world. When you pour it into your containers, you can just pour it through a strainer. Sometimes gelatin will leave you a couple lumps like that. It's okay. And then we're going to add 3 cups of our sparkling water. You can use any carbonated water you want, unsweetened, of course. If it has a flavor to it, like if it's black cherry or something, they actually, if you find a flavor you like, it can taste good in this, you could add it. I'm just using plain. I'm going to mix 1 in and mix it so that everything really gets distributed, and then I'm going to mix 2 in gently to try to hold on to some of that carbonation.
It's okay.
Overboard. Okay. And now I'll just gently mix in the other 2 cups to just try to keep it light and bubbly. So the more carbonation the water or seltzer you add, the more carbonation you'll have in the end product. It's not going to keep all of it, of course, but it will keep it a little light and airy, kind of tingly. And this sets up a little bit on the firm side so that you can unmold it if you want to, as opposed to just like a regular gelatin that might be a little softer.
So like a family dinner or something, you can have the fancy Jell-O.
Exactly. If you want to impress everybody with the buffet at the family reunion. And we're gonna have a couple more of these and fill them up, because this will fill more than 4. But I'm gonna fill these ramekins now, just so you can see. I mixed it in this great mixing bowl with a pouring spout, so I can just pour right in.
Oh, won't that be cute? This
Yes.
little treat, sitting out on the porch in the sun in the summer with your happy, bubbly root beer float Jell-O.
Yeah, definitely once the weather warms up, something like this is nice to have. Sometimes when it's hot in the restaurant, I just like to have something cool that I can pull out of the refrigerator. It's just easy, you know, I don't want a hot meal, I don't want, and so I like to have drinks and then something that's just cool and fun to eat.
Nice.
Yeah, a little pick me up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.